Hi, Sam here. Today I'm doing a video in regards to guilt. So an overview of chronic guilt, how to deal with it, but mainly how it links in with OCD, how it operates with OCD. Always guilt can play a part in the suffering. Okay, so first of all, what is guilt? Okay, so guilt could be all lots of things, like in relation to OCD. It's an uncomfortable feeling. Okay, it can grab your attention 24/7. Can latched on all the time. As soon as you get up out of bed in the morning, it's latched on all the time. Okay, if you're feeling guilty about something, just early example, a real event, false memory OCD, be straight away as soon as you open your eyes in the morning till you close your eyes at night. It's just constant ruminating, trying to analyse it and feeling guilty about something. That really high level, can't focus on anything else, nothing else matters, that chronic guilt latched on. Okay, that's what I mean, it grabs your attention. It makes you want to run away from something or try to fix something instantly. That's how it can link into compulsions, such as confession, seeking reassurance. Let's say a new thought came in, a new theme you were struggling with. Another false memory, another real event came in. You might feel you need to confess to someone, confess to your partner, confess to your therapist, confess to your mates, confess to anyone, just to get that quick relief, to get that quick fix, find that solution, find the answer. Okay, that's all parts of guilt, feeling guilty about something. Okay, how can I get rid of this guilt? How can I get rid of this feeling, this sensation of chronic guilt? How can I get rid of it? Confession and reassurance is not the answer there. I fell down that trap many a time. As I've said in my previous videos, I used to spend most evenings confessing, asking for reassurance, Googling, asking loads of questions. What does this make me? Does that make me a bad person? Does this make me terrible? What's this? What's that? Okay, that is not the answer. And that's how guilt links into those compulsions. Sends you into panic. I've run out a few times at work. I'm in complete panic because the guilt just felt too much. Felt like I couldn't focus on anything. I just felt full on guilt. So it sent me into a panic. That's when I'm running away, trying to find a quick fix. I can't deal with this panic. Welcome it in. If I panic at work, so be it. If I panic at an important event, if I panic at a date, if I panic at a wedding, if I panic on holiday, so be it. Okay, not fearing that panic. All right, all things that come in with guilt, that intense guilt feeling like you feel this way forever. You got to remember, when you are suffering, especially with real chronic guilt, that you're not going to feel like that. There's hope. Okay, just because how you feel now doesn't indicate forever. Okay, it can certainly make it feel like that because you do feel so bad. You don't feel great at all. So it feels like, oh, what is the point? I'm going to feel like this forever. What is the point of anything? Okay, that's sneaky ways of guilt gets in there. Okay, makes you feel like there's no way out, feel completely hopeless, feel completely isolated, feel alone, feel like no one's going to understand me, no one's going to understand what I'm saying. Let's say if you're obsessing about a real event, false memory, POCD, harm OCD, no one's going to understand me. No one's going to have a clue, especially if you're quite new into the journey. I remember that my guilt was ramped up with no one's going to understand me. Only if they knew, I couldn't possibly tell anyone about the thoughts, the false memories, etc. Okay, so other ways guilt gets in there. Okay, makes you feel completely alone. Alright, so that's quite a brief overview of what is guilt. Alright, so I'll go on to the next point. I'm going to elaborate on more of how it made me feel. Okay, now two big things. I felt very undeserving and very unworthy. Okay, let me go into some more detail. So how did it make me feel undeserving? That chronic guilt 24/7. So constantly feeling like nothing else matters. Okay, I felt like I could win the lottery, but it wouldn't matter because of chronic guilt. Because of something that happened 10 years ago, something that happened 20 years ago, something that happened yesterday, it doesn't matter because of that chronic guilt. Okay, could have had a thought at an unwanted time. Could have had real event, false memory, so anything that can pop in, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters in life. I could have my favourite football team could win. I could, like I said, win lots of money. It doesn't matter. Chronic guilt latched up. That's how it felt. Undeserving, unworthy of anything. Okay, I can't possibly enjoy anything. I couldn't possibly enjoy nice food. Now, that's how it makes you feel, but you can. Although you might feel chronic guilt 24/7, you can go out and enjoy a meal. You might not ideal, of course it's not if you when you're not eating the food, you're really struggling. But you can. There are points of distractions in there. It's not that constant 24/7. You're not awfulising it and saying it's totally terrible. Of course, guilt is a not very nice feeling, very uncomfortable, very unpleasant feeling, very difficult and challenging sensation to have. Okay, but saying you can't possibly enjoy anything because of guilt is of extreme exaggeration. Okay, not ideal at all. We'll go into later how to deal with it. But yeah, it's just saying I can't possibly enjoy anything. Very extreme. Okay, feel like there's nothing to look forward to. Like booking a holiday, for example. Say if I felt really chronic guilty, I was booking a holiday in a year's time. I was like, I should be looking forward to that, but I'm not because of this. Or getting a new job or getting a promotion. I was going to say something, I completely forgot. I had an example there, but I completely forgot. Nothing to look forward to. I'll have to come back to that one. But yeah, it's a big one for me. Felt like there was completely nothing to look forward to. Life was wasted time. Just what is the point? Okay, going into feelings of hopelessness again. Okay, I'll go on to more about how unworthy it made me feel. Okay, I can't possibly have any fun. I can't be let off the hook. I can't have a minute's peace. I can't enjoy anything. Okay, that's how it made me feel. Utterly convinced, whatever it is in the past, whatever it is in the future, whatever thought you had, utterly convinced it is real. Okay, that your life's not worth anything, your life's completely over because of this chronic guilt feeling. All right. Labelling yourself as a terrible or an awful person, that links into guilt as well. Okay, constant thought of only if they knew. Okay, that makes you very guilty, especially POCD, harm OCD. If only they knew. Constant thoughts like that makes you feel very guilty. It's very tough. It's very challenging. Labelling yourself as the worst person in the world, and that you're living a lie, living a big secret. All these things that OCD chucks in make you feel very guilty. Okay, so I hope that's got a good overview of guilt, and I can imagine you can relate to that. If you're suffering with all guilt related themes of OCD, I can imagine you can relate to that. I probably miss points out. If I have, feel free to leave them in the comments, but this is all what I can think of. There would be a lot more, but otherwise I'd be all night trying to list everything. Okay, so I'm going to give some examples, okay, of how guilt's played a part in my journey. Okay, so a big one for me, what maybe probably the most guilt out of it all, was unwanted thoughts at an intimate time. Okay, constantly analysing, replaying the situation, mental check-in. What does that make me? When did that come in? Why did it come in? All these constant replaying the situation in your head. Okay, does that make me a monster? Does that make me an awful person? Okay, that's a big one for me. An unwanted thought at an intimate time. Very difficult, very challenging. Completely grabbed my attention away. What we talked about at the start. Completely, that's it. Okay, like I said, I can't focus on anything else now. This is coming now. Okay, overwhelmed by that chronic guilt feeling. I really latched on, ramped up, jacked up, latched on. Okay, I've suffered with hit and run OCD, a very tough one with guilt. Okay, any slight doubt, you could be 99.9% certain, but that's not enough with OCD. That's slight doubt. You need utter certainty. Now you don't, but OCD is going to convince you that you need certainty. Okay, constantly asking questions. How close were you? Were you close to the pavement? Trying to look in the rearview mirror for some reassurance, for some relief. Okay, for some answer. Okay, were you concentrating? Could you have prevented that? Okay, OCD is going to constantly grab you in that guilt. Okay, getting angry with someone. We're human. We're imperfect. We're fallible humans. We can act irrationally. We can act quite angrily if we got something we didn't want. If someone stole money from you, you can act quite angry. Why did you do that? Or swearing, and then think OCD latching on there with that guilt of that makes you a bad person. Or did I react too aggressively? Did I lash out? Could I have harmed them? Did I hit them? Did I think about hitting them? Things like that. Okay, all the ways of guilt getting in there. Okay, like I said, does that make me a terrible person because I acted angry? Should I have just gone, nope, that's fine? Okay, all different ways of actually getting in there. It is very crafty. Okay, as you know, watching this video, it is very crafty. It's got no limits. It's going to try and trick you, going to try and fool you. Okay, so it's very crafty in this way. Could be something that most people do get angry about. Like I said, stealing. If someone stole money from you, obviously he's going to latch onto your reaction. Okay. Real event, false memory, another massive one for me. I was stuck with years and years and years. Real event, false memory, constantly analysing in the past, utterly convinced it's real. Any slight doubt, utterly convinced it's real. Looking at another angle, okay, trying to find the answer, trying to find a solution. If you did try and get somewhere, obviously you would tuck in something else. Okay, how old were you at a specific time? Did this really happen? Did that happen? Okay, all these certain things that OCD gets in there with, that making you feel that chronic guilt, making you sort of leading you on, if that makes sense, leading you on to feel like you're getting somewhere and then boom, something else, okay, and feeling that chronic guilt about it. Real event, false memory, that's probably the biggest guilt that I felt. That and the first one, unwanted thought, an intimate time, that is really the what chronic guilt latched on. I felt like there was no way out, felt completely hopeless. Okay, which brings me on to my next point. So there's no point me listing everything that's wrong with guilt, everything that's terrible, awful. And how do we deal with it? Okay, let's look for a solution. We're constantly looking for solutions, hurdles, obstacles that we can get over. Guilt's just one of those. Okay, you don't have to live with guilt forever. Okay, how do we deal with it? Now, I made a video in the past about it. Loads of people on this channel, Nick, Rob, Momin, Kirsty, Jade, all made videos on this channel, and the main key is unconditional acceptance. Okay, when it comes to guilt, absolutely vital, massive, huge point with chronic guilt. Okay, so you're accepting yourself even if it was real. Now let me highlight, acceptance isn't agreement. Okay, you're not saying you like it or you favour it or anything like that. You're saying, I may completely dislike it, I may strongly condemn it, I may hate it, whatever it may be, the act, the fault, whatever. Okay, but you're not writing yourself off, you're not labelling yourself as an awful person because of this one act or because of this one thought. Okay, so the unconditional acceptance. All right, there's lots of videos on this channel about that. Reading the books on the reading list, the Albert Ellis books, Myth of Self-Esteem, how to stubbornly refuse to make yourself miserable about anything. Yes, anything. Okay, all goes into details of that. All right, I honestly can't highlight enough how helpful that is with chronic guilt. All right, not writing yourself off as a human. Okay, that's how guilt gets in there. If you're constantly telling yourself you're terrible, you're no good, you're undeserving, you're unworthy, that's how guilt gets in there. It's going to feel 24/7. It's going to feel relentless. Like it's not going to let you off the hook if you're constantly telling yourself that. Okay, of course it's not an overnight fix. It takes a lot of work, but you can do that. You can start working on that. You can start looking at your fears, start breaking it down rationally. Okay, I may dislike that, but does that make me a person that has to be feel guilty forever? No, of course not. Okay, what purpose does guilt serve? Okay, it can make you change, which is great. If you've made a mistake in the past, you can change and learn from that to not repeat the mistake, or you can act better. Of course, that's good. But then constantly feeling guilty because of one thing in the past is not gonna help anyone. Okay, it's gonna make you feel bad. It's not gonna make you progress and learn from anything if you're constantly feeling 24/7 guilt. Okay. Accepting yourself as a fallible, imperfect human. You're capable of making many good or bad acts, many neutral acts. You're capable of doing all sorts of acts. Okay? Accepting yourself as a fallible, imperfect human. Absolutely vital. All right? We've made videos, like I've said, so I can't really go into all now because I'll be here all night trying to talk about unconditional acceptance, but there's some very good videos on this channel, and also reading the books and applying the tools and techniques and the exercises in there, I'd strongly recommend. Okay, next point, disputing irrational beliefs. Another thing we've talked about loads on this channel and also in the books. Look at your shoulds, look at your oughts, look at your musts. You saying, I can't stand this, I can't stand that. Are you awfulising? Are you overgeneralising? Are you saying that's totally bad, that's totally awful, this is the worst thing in the world, that's the end of the world. Okay, look at your rigid thinking, look at your absolutistic demands. All right, look at all things like that, all the things that's laid out in the books by Albert Ellis, Marcus Aurelius, all these other people on this channel. Look at the techniques that have been laid out, the guidelines set out for you. All right, all links in, all can help with guilt. All right, if you're saying that's totally awful, I'm a terrible person, I can't stand that, I can't bear that, of course you're going to feel guilty. Okay, just changing that to healthy preferences, and just changing your thinking to more healthy ways. Okay, making peace with the worst case scenario. Another point is acceptance is an agreement. So you may dislike it, you may really not want that, but you're making peace, you're accepting it. And you've got to remember, when you do that, society is going to latch on to what you fear. It's going to latch on to what you can't accept, what you see as the worst thing in the world. Okay, that's a big thing. That's a big learning curve that I learned, was if I made peace with that, or accepted it but disagreed, or hated it but accepted it, or as the worst case scenario, then, I mean, humans adapt, they adjust to certain situations. Okay, so you're lowering the fear, you're taking the fear out of it. If you're absolutely terrified by something, if you view it as the worst thing in the world, there's no wonder this is going to latch onto it. No wonder you're going to feel chronic guilt 24/7. Okay, so I think that's mainly how to deal with it. Like I said, I can't highlight enough how to put in the work and reading the books and watching the videos on here. Okay, now I always finish with hope. When I do videos, I always finish with hope. So watching this video, if you're suffering with guilt, you feel like you feel completely stuck, like there's no way out, I've been in your shoes, I know how you feel. Okay, just keep going, keep putting the work in, take each day at a time. Just because you had a bad day is really not the world. Just keep pushing, like you're falling off your bike and then you're getting back on. Okay, life is all a learning curve. All right, chronic guilt serves no purpose. Look at your beliefs. Are you unconditionally accepting yourself? Unconditionally accepting life, others. Okay, look at all your beliefs. Okay, you don't have to live with chronic guilt. It's a really challenging emotion. I'm aware of that. I've felt guilt most of my life. But you can get better. There is hope out there. Okay, and finally, if you like the video, please leave a like. I'd much appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And any feedback, any suggestions for videos, please leave a comment. I would much appreciate that. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.